Chapter 5, Opposite Camps. 2 years later, the desert stretched endlessly under the searing sun, an ocean of sand and stone where time itself seemed to stand still. But here, in this barren landscape, two forces were preparing to tear history apart. Two camps, two futures. A vast complex of steel and glass rose from the sand like a fortress of the future. The Judas Project headquarters was built for efficiency, sterile, modern, and humming with technology. A perimeter fence of electrified steel wire ran for miles, topped with surveillance drones that hovered like silent sentinels. No one came in or out without clearance. Inside, labs buzzed with activity. White-coated scientists analyzed quantum simulations, engineers worked on stabilizing the theoretical time travel framework, and financial strategists continued to secure funding from donors worldwide. In the command center, a massive holographic display illuminated the room. Maps, data streams, and predictive models flickered across the surface. At the center of it all stood Eric Mallory, his arms crossed as he surveyed the progress. Paul Clifford stood beside him, reading a status report. "We're ahead of schedule. The stabilization tests have shown progress, but we still need a viable method for displacement." Eric didn't look away from the screen. "And the funding? Growing every day. Public interest is at an all-time high. People don't want faith anymore, Eric. They want certainty." Eric allowed himself a small smirk. "Good." Behind them, Ahmed Zaman adjusted the settings on a quantum field simulator. The numbers flickered on the screen. Unpredictable. Chaotic. Time was resisting them. But resistance didn't mean impossible. They would break history open like a sealed vault. Miles away across the dunes, the second camp sat behind its own electrified fence, but it couldn't have been more different. While the Judas Project camp was sleek and modern, CRREO's headquarters looked like something out of an ancient world. Here, scholars, scientists, and theologians trained for the journey ahead, not in labs, but by living the way people had 2,000 years ago. The camp was divided into smaller settlements, each modeled after a different time period. There were clusters of mud brick homes, tents woven from camel hair, and wooden structures that mimicked early Jerusalem. They cooked over open fires, wore tunics and robes, and studied languages long forgotten by the modern world. The people there moved through the camp, speaking Aramaic, ensuring they didn't slip into modern speech. Their hands were calloused from manual labor, their bodies adjusting to a diet of bread, dates, and whatever they could trade with local markets. Near the main tent, Ian Adams sat with a group of scholars and engineers, reviewing data on a solar-powered tablet. He had abandoned his old life to prepare for this mission, and now he led those who would defend history itself. "We don't have their resources," Reuben Bieber admitted, wiping sweat from his brow, "but we have something they don't." Ian looked up. "Faith," Reuben nodded. "Faith, and time itself on our side." From a distance, the two camps glared at each other like opposing armies before battle. The war for history was about to begin.